home to give my sister a little fiddle.
On January the 14th and 15th, 2008, user johnsimbest posted 23 of their personal snapshots of the video game Grand Theft Auto San Andreas on their personal Flickr account. Seemingly after this, nothing else was posted, and johnsimbest has abandoned the account since then. These 23 snapshots all have a certain aspect to them. It either can be viewed from an existential point of view or from a point of familiarity. You know, when these snapshots were posted, I myself was probably doing the same thing. This was the golden era of San Andreas YouTube videos, and I was also taking snapshots myself. When I look back at the videos of San Andreas in 2008 and 2009, it instantly takes me back to the times I used to have multiple cheat sheets next to me and used to explore the woods trying to find Bigfoot. These videos from this period proving that UFOs were real, that Bigfoot was hiding somewhere in Mount Chiliad and Leatherface chopping up people in the woods were either out of focus or blurry, mirroring real-life extraterrestrial sightings. After hours of searching, I found my own cheat sheet. When I held the crumpled paper and looked at my horrible handwriting, everything suddenly came back. For the people that saw these snapshots in 2008, for them it seemed like an ordinary game screenshot. But if we look at it now, that feeling is quite different. Now, the word nostalgia will probably be referred to a lot here. But what does the term actually mean, and what evokes nostalgia? The origin of this Homeric word stems from the two Greek words nostos, which means to return home, and algos, which means pain or sorrow. When we now look back on the game, we look back with a certain longing to return ourselves to the certain day when we sat in our room comfortable on a summer day. Perhaps San Andreas was our home for a moment. An interesting note, as mentioned before, this was during the peak of San Andreas. Grand Theft Auto 4 would only be released a few months later. Perhaps this was to remind ourselves that this game was truly something different. Take the phrase, "Don't be sad that it's over, be glad that it happened." It perfectly encapsulates this whole phenomenon. Or, better said by Big Smoke himself,
"Same things make us laugh, make us cry."
These images can all be separated into categories, ones with fire, ones with flying objects, and ones with a still life. For good measure, I went to the places myself in-game and tried to place myself in the position John was in at the time the photos were made. In his first image, titled "A Boat in GTA San Andreas," we very obviously see a boat, but not quite in the sea. This boat was either spawned or towed with a vehicle inside a garage of some sorts. I've looked around quite a bit, but I couldn't really find the place where this was taken. On the left, there's a single light illuminating the room, giving light to the only object in the room, the boat. Canon outside the Area 69 in GTA San Andreas is also a very literal snapshot. The SAM or anti-aircraft gun takes up most of the screen. This SAM in particular is located on the battleship just outside San Fierro. With the moon in the background peeking through the cannons and a shooting star in the background, this makes for quite a beautiful sight to see. Although, there's one issue with this photo. It's not in the picture, but with the title. This picture wasn't in fact taken outside Area 69. Well, technically it is outside Area 69, but this was taken, like mentioned earlier, outside of San Fierro. The last one I want to show is the demolition ball. It's located in the construction site in San Fierro next to the save point. In my footage, you can quite obviously see a line that holds the ball. But in this shot, it looks like a spheroid floating through the sky. The beauty of these images is clearly captured through the eyes of John, capturing even the less interesting aspects of Los Santos and turning them into something that can make us view it some other way. For me, the most interesting photos are the ones featuring the flying cars. We all remember our cheat sheet when it featured the code RIPAZHA on PC. This allowed us to turn our car into a flying machine. For most of us, it was a way to relax after a long day at school or work. It was the best form of escapism that existed. Before we tried to embark on our journey, we would switch on the radio and turn on the Young Turks by Rod Stewart, and on we went. Flying through the deserts of Bone County with no real thoughts in mind. The map also felt gigantic due to the fog of San Andreas and encountered new things every single time. Upon looking back at these videos, we got that feeling of a certain nostalgia and innocence, back when the concept of life didn't quite yet exist to us. Take this image for example. This specific car flying through the mist over a lake makes it quite ominous. The car almost being out of frame as well as the rock in the top left corner. What I also find interesting is that the colors in this image are near identical to each other. These two pictures were snapped back to back it seems. But also, in these photographs, almost all cars are either very close or very far in the horizon. These snapshots also show no signs of speed. Even though the cars are flying, it's like time has stopped for a second. Time perhaps stopped for us to think about the days when we were in the same exact moment. I feel that these images let us catch our breath for a moment and make us reminisce. This cycle is probably the most vulgar, the most intense. In these snapshots, John pictured NPCs, cars and motorcycles all burning. It shows death, destruction and terror. What John meant with these pictures will remain a mystery, and we can only speculate what it truly meant. It is not clear what John is doing now or where they are. The only thing they posted other than the pictures were comments under their own photographs. The account was created in January 2008. And possibly posted these pictures right after creating it. There's no way to tell if these pictures also were taken in 2008, but it's quite possible. Looking at some of these titles, it appears there are more photographs that John never posted, in the hundreds even. Just 2 pictures were made at Area 69, and it's a monster truck positioned vertically against the fence at the base. I couldn't quite put my finger on what this was supposed to mean. Perhaps it's an artistic rendition of some sort. Art doesn't always have to have a meaning, and this might be an example. When inspecting these pictures closer, the theme as a whole can be alien or UFO. Some of these pictures have very direct references to these themes or Area 69 if we were talking about the game. Flying cars as UFOs, bright lights, hovering objects and destruction. The final picture is also the most fitting. It's a very pixelated snapshot of the UFO picture frames that are in the Lil probe in just out Area 69. In this bar, there's multiple frames depicting alleged UFO sightings throughout Los Santos. So, who is johnsimbest and what was the purpose of these images? Can it be that they just like to take a picture of the game, or is there some sort of hidden meaning? What do you make of it? Let me know down in the comment section below. When my curiosity reached a certain level, I tried to reach out to John on Flickr with a message. After waiting about 2 weeks, I hadn't received any message. I decided to dig further for any info, but to no avail, I was left empty-handed. At least in the end, John left us with 23 snapshots from all over Los Santos. There may be no story attached nor a linear timeline, but at least with the snapshots we went back in time for a moment.